People, Deluded, I'm back again. I have an exciting guest, someone I've wanted to do this with for a long time. Abdul, how are you, man? Are you good?
I'm good, thanks. How are you? Yeah.
I'm good, man. I'm good. Obviously, the world's a bit of a madness right now, but I've got my health. My loved ones got their health. Hopefully, yours have the same. Can't complain beyond that, my guy.
Yeah. Same. Yeah. It's good. It's good.
What you been doing to make time and pass the time and whatnot during this lockdown?
Uh, Obviously, Mill sets a few exercises and conditioning runs to do like 5Ks, sprints, 10Ks, all of that, and like a few core stuff as well to make sure that we're staying fit, obviously.
Okay. Are you in constant contact with your teammates and your coaches out there during this time?
Yeah, mostly my teammates. Like we have a little group chat like where we just catch up every now and then. Yeah, like we just talk about how things are going, like how the 5Ks are and all the exercises and that. So yeah, it's good.
How are you finding the exercise personally?
They've been tough. They've been tough, but what can I do? Like they're meant to be tough. That's the thing. So I just have to get on with it, really.
Mm.
And it's a bit hard to like motivate myself because it's not like I'm doing it with anyone else. I'm doing it by myself. So yeah.
You said something interesting there about like keeping yourself motivated. And obviously, in anything you do in life, there's going to be times where it doesn't feel like that. How do you keep yourself motivated? Like you said, you're by yourself and you have to ultimately do it.
Obviously, I know that they know this is what's best for me. So I know if I'm obviously doing it well, they're gonna see that I'm doing it well, and they're gonna know like, wow, this guy's serious.
Mm.
So yeah.
Fantastic answer, to be fair with you, Abdul, man. Fantastic answer. So take me back. Obviously, you play for Millwall at the moment, but before we talk about that, when did football start? When did you start kicking ball? Was it in the cages? Was it with a brother or cousin? Did you just start playing with mates? How did it go for you?
Yeah, so I started when I was about 4. Used to
Wow.
go down to the park, why not? Park downstairs from my house, just kick with my 2 older brothers there. Like, there's even a video of YouTube when I was about 4 years old and I was kicking ball in the park. Uh, this was a what? Yeah, this was when I was 4. So yeah, this was time ago. But yeah, that's where it really started.
Wow. What do you type in for that video? I want to see that, man. I never knew that. Raw.
I'll send you the link after if you actually want to watch it.
All right, cool, man. I'll leave it in the description for people. That's interesting. I assume your older brothers were ballers as well.
Uh, yeah, but they didn't take it as serious as me, I guess, because I don't know why, but yeah, they just didn't take it as serious as me.
You wanted to say they're not as good as you, there, innit?
Nah, they are probably better. Who knows?
Did it help you, obviously, being the youngest and playing with two older brothers? Because physically, having to think quicker at a time, you
Uh,
can be muscled out a
yeah,
lot.
yeah, yeah, definitely, yeah.
What team did you first start playing for? Like, did you play grassroots at all?
Yeah, so when I was under 7, so yeah, 2, like 10 years ago. Yeah, my PE teacher was a scout at Fulham Development, so he saw that, oh, this boy's kind of good, so he took me there. That was on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Yeah, Tuesday evenings. So I
Mm.
used to go there, and then another boy there, his dad was a coach at Senrab, so he told me to come down there. Uh, I went there for a bit, but it was too far for my mum, so we stopped going. And after that, I just stayed with Fulham, just doing the Tuesday evenings and then Saturday games. And then from there, I signed my official contract at under 9s. I was there till under 11s when I got released. Then afterwards, I thought getting back into academy was going to be easy, but that wasn't the case. So after that, I went to we had, so after that there was a borough tournament. So all the
What borough
boroughs
is
like
this?
Lambeth,
Oh,
so
okay.
this was the borough, Lambeth, Southwark, all the other boroughs in it. So this was at Crystal Palace Leisure Centre. Um, yeah, so then it was just, I was doing football obviously. And then there was scouts from a lot of clubs there. And then there was a Chelsea scout there that thought I did well. So then, yeah, they got my details and that. So then we went to, this was in about 2 months after I got released. So Went to the talent ID thing, and then I did well there, and then I got invited to a 3-day trial at the actual academy, and then I didn't get in because I don't. What's the reason? I don't think they told me the reason. Actually, yeah, they said that I wasn't as good as the other. Like, for me to get in, I would have to be better than what they had, and at the time I wasn't better than what they had.
What did that feel like?
Then it was tough to take because, I mean, I didn't. To be fair, I didn't think I did enough because it was only 3 days. Like, there wasn't much I could do. Like, I didn't play no games like that. So, yeah, I just had to take on the chin and move on. And then afterwards, I went to my local club called St Matthew's in the park. Stayed there. Well, I was playing a year up, and then stayed there for about 6 months. Didn't really like it there. Like, the players weren't as serious as I wanted to be. So then, yeah, I moved on to a team called Junior Elite. You know Eric, innit? You did an interview with him the other day. Yeah. Yeah, he went to my primary school as well. We played at Junior Elite together as well.
Small world.
Yeah. So this was under 12s. And then obviously that's when he got signed for Fulham, like a few months after I joined. I didn't really play with him for that long. And then stayed there for a year and a half. And then I stayed there from under 12 to under 13s. Then for the whole of under 14s, I was at a team called AFC Nassau. And then obviously
around, man.
They trained in my school, and then a lot of my friends played for them, so I thought, why not? And then I stayed there for a year, and I even forgot, I was playing district football as well. So I started district in year 7, and then from year 7 to year 11, that's when I was doing district as well as like grassroots as well. So I was balancing out grassroots with district, and then that's when the under 14 season was. At the end of it, we played a final with district, and then a Fulham scout, not Fulham scout, sorry, a Millwall scout used to come to like all our games from when I first started to like to the end, obviously. So then he thought I did well that season. So then he called me in I got a trial for Millwall, and then yeah, it was a long trial, be real.
Why was it long?
At first I thought it was going to be a 6-week thing, but it was like 3 months. It was from like July? No, not July. August till November.
So why was it so long? That seems longer than usual.
Yeah, it's usually meant to be 6 weeks, but they didn't. Like, there was the decisions. Yeah, like some of them are thinking, yeah, I should get signed. Some of them are thinking, no, I shouldn't get signed. And then I don't know what tipped it in the end, but yeah, eventually I got signed.
You see, going through the way you've described your career, don't get me wrong, you're a baller. I love all your technical abilities, but one thing that stands out is resilience. Like, you obviously had to, you just said you proved people right at Millwall. You had to convince everyone. You took a setback with Fulham and a couple of other knockbacks. How did in these moments where, you know, you could either stick or twist, what did you feel like? Because it must have been disappointing getting released by Fulham in particular, because you was there for a minute. And obviously Millwall, you said you got signed around under 15s, right?
Yeah, under 15s, yeah.
Yeah, and that's kind of crunch time. Like, you kind of got to get in and then get a scholarship. And I'm pretty sure people must have been saying to you, and they might still be saying it to a degree, thinking in regards to other careers and stuff. So what was going through your brain at the time, and how did you bounce back?
So it was Fulham was tough to take because one of my other friends, like, he got released 2 months before that as well. So then I was just thinking, right, maybe they just don't like us. And then I just had to, you know, my mum obviously, like, she helped me get over it. Like, she was like, don't worry, it's going to be okay. Like, you'll get another team and this, that, the other. And then, yeah, I just had to, again, self-motivate myself to get where I want to be now, to get where I am now, and obviously push further.
That's fantastic, man. Did Fulham say why they released you?
No, it wasn't even me in the meeting. It was my mum. To this day, I don't even know. It's probably because of my height. Who knows?
Okay. Have you had to deal with much doubt about height and things like that?
Not really. Not really. Not anymore now.
Okay, you said not anymore. So what do you feel has tipped the balance and made that less of an issue?
Probably the fact that when you think of small players, you think, oh, they're strong, or they're not strong. So you think they're weak and they can't really hold off defenders, especially strikers. But obviously, that's not really the case with me. Like, you can't push me off the ball easy. Now, if you're gonna push me off the ball, you have to work for it.
I like that answer, man. I like that. Obviously, when you've got Millwall, and it still happens at professional level, it takes players a while to settle because obviously, clearly, you've got the technical ability to make a difference there, but there's all the tactical elements and all of that sort of thing. So, what was going through your head going into that? Did you feel you struggled at first? Do you feel you just hit the ground running? What's going through your head now that you've officially signed?
Officially, no. When I first went there, I was a bit nervous because obviously, actually, I knew like a couple of people there. Like, do you know Nana Boyton?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's one of my close friends, and I knew him before I went Mill from district, and yeah, he kind of welcomed me. Like, he made me feel like welcome when I came, and another other one of my friends was there too, and then they're all obviously him and his friends at the time they weren't my friends because I didn't know them like that. But then obviously they all made me feel welcome and that. So yeah, it was good. It was good.
How big is support network? And I don't think many people get to shed light on this enough. Obviously, you've mentioned they've welcomed you in. Your players is one thing, but you've got a family. You mentioned your mum. Your mum obviously has a life of her own and a job. How tough is it? Obviously, how it's been taking you to games and the rest of it, and the journey that comes with being a young footballer with aspirations on your family.
Yeah. So when I was at Fulham, two of my other friends used to live close. Like, one of them lived in Upper Tulsa, one of them lived in North, and I live in Tulsa. So then they would work, like, one of my friends' mums will they'll take us each on different days. So my mum would take me on a Saturday, my other friend's mum would take me on the Tuesday, and then my other friend's mum would take me on the Thursday. So yeah, they all used to like really care for us and like try to make sure that we was doing the best that we could.
And and obviously that's very big on them. It's a strong sacrifice. So talk to me about Millwall. How do you feel the season's gone for you this season, for you personally?
Me personally, I think it's gone really well. Like, things happened that I wasn't expecting to happen. Like, the amount of goals I scored, like how well I played, the FA Youth Cup run, how well we done in the league, the England call up, just everything really.
Did you have to pinch yourself at any moment? Because you've gone from, like, in a small amount of time, you've gone from not being with a club to, like you said, England under-17s, playing FA Youth Cup and doing what we'd all love to be doing, kicking football ultimately.
Yeah. Like, sometimes I think to myself, like, rah, like, like when I went England, I was just like, rah, I'm actually here. Like, it was mad.
Man, that's down to your hard work, my guy, man. You wouldn't be there if you never had ability. You have hard work, and most of all, you're extremely humble. So what do you feel has been your best game this season? And if you have had a bad game or a game you felt you could have done better, what would you say?
My worst game?
Yeah, best and worst game. Yeah.
I'll start with worst. The worst game was probably against Charlton at home. Like, I didn't play too well. We lost 1-0. It just wasn't the best of the game. But the best game this season is probably Ipswich away. Yeah, where we won 6-1. And Ipswich are a good side as well. Like, we all played well. Like, it was a good game.
Did you, in terms of goals and assists, paint a picture for those who don't necessarily know?
Yeah, so I got 2 good goals. Like, the first one was just shot across the keeper outside the box. Like, it wasn't in the air, it was on the floor. Yeah, it was blowing hard across the keeper. And then the second one was, I kind of made it for myself. So I've done a 1-2. No, not a 1-2. I played chip through a tight gap, and then I've kind of like shifted it onto my left, and then I quickly cut back, then quickly hit top range across the keeper with no backlift.
All right. Is that something you work on? Backlift, you
No,
mentioned
it
backlift.
just happened. Like I don't even know. I didn't even realize until I watched it back. It just happened.
Who do you model your game on? Or look to, if you're not necessarily model, who do you look to and say, I'd like to take a bit of him and a bit of him and do my own style on things and make myself, Abdul, my own player?
Um, Probably Aguero, like, because he's a small striker as well. Like, I haven't like the way he scores a lot of goals through his movement, and that's how I want to be. Like, I want to perfect my movement like his to get a lot of goals, obviously.
Have you been working on movement much?
Yeah, we do IDP sessions. Like, I mean, IDP means individual development plan. So we do that a lot at Millwall, like on a Tuesday or no, on a Thursday or Monday. So yeah.
And excluding Sergio, is there anyone else?
I just like watching small attacking players, really. So like Hazard, Messi, Mane, Salah, like them type of players there.
Have you always been a striker?
Yeah. So either striker or like behind the striker. So 10 or striker.
Have you played 10 much this season?
I played there about twice, but with Millwall, we either play 4-4-2 or a diamond. So with the 4-4-2, I'm playing up front, and then with the diamond, at first I was either playing striker or the 10, but they don't really like me in the 10 because I can utilize my pace more up front rather than the 10.
What do you feel is your strengths and weaknesses then?
So the strengths is running with the ball, 1v1s, creating chances, and creativity. Weakness is movement, dropping. I don't know about dropping too deep because sometimes it's a weakness, sometimes it's a strength, obviously, but that can be both. Probably, and weaker foot finishing too.
I've always wanted to ask a striker, and obviously you play up front. Goals and assists is ultimately what you'll be judged on. But how do you play well, or what do you look for? Because not every game you're going to score, not every game you can score. Sometimes it's not yours. How do you affect the game and play well without necessarily scoring or assisting?
I think just linking up play for me, really, like coming deep to set and spin, or just runs in behind to create space for the midfielders or wide players, really. So that as well.
So obviously playing at your level, you're coming against different sorts of defenders. Some are quick, some are stronger. Talk me through your mind. How do you look at a football match? Are you calculated? Do you play a lot on instinct? Do you look for certain triggers from a centre half to think, yeah, I'm going to test him, I'm going to take him on the outside. I might try player 1-2. Is there certain things you look for?
Yeah, so if a defender is bigger than me, obviously they're all going to be bigger than me. But if they're like, obviously, if they're hench and like they can't really move, like I'll try pull them out wide and get 1v1 with them and just try and shift them and move them off balance. But if they're smaller than me, then I think in my head I don't really think they're strong, but they could be. So I would try like sometimes I know some might sound weird, but I might try pin them if that makes sense. But yeah.
It's interesting that you say that, man. It's interesting that you say that. So obviously you've become a full-time footballer now. What changes have been different? Like, has there been any changes in your body? Obviously training every day, more or less, playing more frequently. What's going through your mind now, especially as you've gone from it being not a hobby, but something you want to take seriously to now, this is it. It's down to you to work hard and you can go wherever you want past that.
So before, like when I was under 16s and playing with the 18s, sometimes they used to say, like they used to mention my running and like where they want it to be. So at first, like let's say around this time last year when I was 16s, my running was about 9K, 8K, and then now starting to progress to 9.5, 10K regularly. So that's been a big change as well. And I would say I've gotten stronger in the gym as well. Like being in there most days, like the squats and that. It's been good for my body.
Mm. What shocked you the most when you jumped into under-18s football?
Probably how strict it was. Like, obviously, at first, it wasn't on purpose, innit, but I used to be late a bit, and then they just started like not really drilling us, but they would like, we can't let this keep happening. Like, this is work now. You can't be late. This, that, the other. So then, yeah, that as well.
Mm. You stay in digs, or are you still at home?
Nah, home. Nah, home.
Okay. So did you set any targets at the start of this season?
Yeah. To get, obviously, to score, what, I think it was 20 goals in the league. And then, obviously, the league was finished on that. So, I got, what did I get? I think 12, and yeah, I got 12 in the league. So, yeah. And just to be a starter really in the team. Like, he really wants to be a full-time footballer that's not playing. That doesn't really make sense. So I just had to make sure that I worked my hardest in training and be the best that I could for myself and the team.
That's a great way of answering. How does the season? I should have really asked you this at the start, but like you've said, you've had a season with a number of positives, testament to your hard work. And in different circumstances, we'd all love football to be played, but it's kind of been wrapped up, it's done for this year. How does it make you feel, really?
It was upsetting really because we all thought, rah, if this season finishes, we can win the league and do something big. That's not really been done by Millwall in a long time. So obviously for all us 18s, it was tough to take, but we just had to move on really.
Who's been the toughest opponent you've played against? Especially as a
As
striker,
in,
it's interesting.
as in player or team?
I was thinking just player, but you can expand if there's a team. Why not?
Player. In training, Hayden Muller, the captain. He's hard to get by. He's good on the ball. He's strong, fast. He's a good one. And team, Chelsea 18s. That was tough, man. The way they played, the formation, that's our formation was, and plus the amount of good individuals they have, plus they work well as a team as well. It was tough.
Have you trained much with Millwall's first team?
No, I haven't even trained with the first team really. Like, we've done a game, but it wasn't really the whole first team. It was just like the first team players that didn't really play much. So yeah.
Finally, Abdul, I'd love to ask you. Obviously, you've had a great story making it and you're doing good things, but what do you think is the single strongest aspect a young player with ambitions to be a professional footballer requires? Is it something physical, technical, or is it mental? Like, what would be it for you?
Attitude, really. That's the first thing. I think nowadays, the coaches aren't really looking at ability. It's about what's really, what your attitude really is. Like, what does this kid really want? Does he want it as bad as the other kids? Like, how bad does he want it? So I think nowadays coaches are looking at attitude over ability.
That's an interesting way of looking at it. I appreciate you taking the time to obviously do this with me and, give us some nuggets and gems into the life of a professional footballer. And I'd like to obviously thank you for doing so and stay safe, my guy, man. Take care.
Yeah, you too, man. Yeah.
Take care.